Hello, this is John Miller. Now, baseball is certainly a sport of thrills, as rich in drama as it is in history. Now, while video game baseball doesn't have quite the same history, a lot of the same excitement can be found on ESPN Major League Baseball 2K5. Now, to make the big plays, you'll need to warm up with your Xbox controller, so I'm here to show you how it's done. Let's start with batting. When you step up, a dark box will appear over the plate showing the strike zone. If the ball passes through the box, it will count as a strike, even if it just touches the edge of the zone. So, if you want to try and hit the ball, you'll have to swing the bat. If you see the ball coming toward that box, that would be a good time to swing. Press the A button for a contact swing. A contact swing won't use all the power potential of your batter, but will have a better chance of hitting the ball. Press the B button for a power swing. That uses all the strength of your batter, but is more likely to miss or hit a pop fly. More important than picking the right type of swing is getting your timing and positioning right. When you press the button, your batter will begin swinging. It's important to get a read on the speed and break of a pitch to know when the best time is to swing. Timing your swing just right should result in a hit up the middle. If you hit too late or too early, the ball will foul off into the stands, or worse, you'll miss the ball completely for a swinging strike. If you use the left thumbstick to point in the direction of the ball as it moves away from the center of the strike zone, you can get better contact. So, for a ball going high, push the left thumbstick up to hit it harder and further. If you push the left thumbstick down for a pitch that's going high, you might hit it if your timing is good, but you won't hit it nearly as hard. A good thing to watch is your hot and cold zones, shown in the graphic at the bottom of the screen. This map shows your strongest and weakest parts of the strike zone, with your strongest marked in red and weakest in blue. The deeper the color, the better or worse you are at hitting a ball in that zone. You can check out the pitcher's hot and cold zones as well to get a feel for where he's most likely to throw the ball. Keep in mind that these colors will change during a game depending on how good or bad the batter or pitcher is in each of those zones. At the top of the graphic is your confidence meter. A batter will gain confidence with every good play that he makes and will lose confidence with bad plays, like, for example, a strikeout. In an instance where you have a man on base, a weak batter coming up, and you can afford to give up an out, you may want to bunt the ball to make a sacrifice and advance your runner. Press and hold the Y button to set up for the bunt. Then use the left thumbstick to move the bat around to meet the pitch. Once you're in your bunting stance, you'll see an arrow appear on the field showing you which direction you're intending to bunt if you make contact. Use the L and R triggers to move this arrow to the left or the right. If the pitch is made and you think it's not going to cross the strike zone, you can tap the A or B button for a check swing. Press it too long, though, and you'll be committed to a full swing. New to the game this year is Slam Zone. With this feature, you can get the feeling of what it's like to be a big league hitter who's got the pitcher timed and is seeing the ball extremely well. When a pitcher makes a bad pitch, you'll know it because the location of the ball will be given away. When that happens, you might also see red-colored targeting crosshairs appear. The crosshairs are what we call the batter's eye. Place the batter's eye over the location of the pitch to have your batter enter Slam Zone. Once you've entered Slam Zone, you've got the pitcher's number. It's time to muscle up and try driving that ball out of the park. Once you see the power meter appear on screen, tap the A button rapidly to start powering up for a crushing hit. You'll have a short amount of time to power up before you'll be prompted to swing. When you see the word swing appear, be sure to press the B button immediately to make your mighty swing. Don't be late pressing the B button. If you wait too long, you'll miss the ball and take a strike. Slam Zone is the perfect time to slam your opponent's mistakes into the cheap seats. Good defense starts with good pitching. And to pitch well, you need to know your controls. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to put away the batters and rack up the strikeouts using the brand new ESPN K-Zone pitching controls. When you're pitching, a box showing the strike zone will appear just like when batting. But now, you'll have a circle icon you can move inside and outside the strike zone by pushing the left thumbstick. This circle icon shows where you'll attempt to throw the ball, so try to keep it in the batter's weakest zones. A chart at the bottom of the screen will show both the pitcher's and the batter's hot and cold zones. Use these charts to decide the best location for your pitch. These charts will change over the course of a game, depending on how well the batter and pitcher perform in the different zones. The pitching icon shows you what pitches your pitcher knows how to throw. Some pitchers know how to throw more pitches than others, and some throw different types of pitches. Next to each button is a meter telling you how strong your pitcher is with that pitch. The more you use a pitch, the weaker he'll get at it, so it's a good idea to mix your choices up and keep the batter guessing. Once you're ready, move the circle icon to the place you want to throw. Then, tap the button assigned to the pitch you want. After you tap, a crosshair will appear on the circle icon, and markers will move along the lines of the crosshair toward the center of the circle. Tap the button again once the first marker reaches the center of the circle. Then tap it again when the other marker reaches it. The closer you get to the center of the circle, the more accurate that pitch will be. If you tap at the right time and center both markers over the circle icon, you'll pitch exactly to the point you chose. If you tap too soon or too late, the circle icon will drift, changing the location of your pitch. If you really botch tapping the button and put both markers outside the outer circle, a fat pitch will be made and you'll risk putting the batter into slam zone. And if you watch the batting video, you'll know how easy it makes putting one out of the park. So try to keep the markers inside the circle. You can throw faster by pressing and holding the button you use to select your pitch. Once you hold, the outer accuracy ring will shrink. As you might expect, the smaller the circle icon, the harder it is to throw an accurate pitch, so speed will compromise accuracy. Release the button early to find a balance between speed or accuracy, or hold it down all the way for a burner of a pitch. The rest of the process will be the same, just harder. Miss your accuracy comfort zone, and you'll be much more likely to put the batter in the slam zone. Putting extra effort on pitches has one other side effect. The more juice you try putting on a pitch by holding down the button, the faster your pitcher will tire. You can check out your pitcher's current stamina level by viewing the meter found in the pitching icon. Be sure to bring in a fresh pitcher from the bullpen when your pitcher is out of gas. If a runner is on base and you want to keep him honest, use the directional pad to throw to a base for a pickoff attempt. Press right for first base, up for second base, and left for third base. You can also pull and hold the left trigger and move the left thumbstick if you just want to intimidate the runner. When you play against the CPU, you don't have to worry about your opponent seeing where you plan to pitch. But if you're playing with a friend, it's a different matter. That's where our new fake target feature comes in. If you want to throw the ball down and away, but want to make your friend think you're pitching high and inside, push the circle icon low and out, then pull the right trigger once. You'll get some rumble feedback to let you know you've done it. Once you've pulled the right trigger, move the circle icon up and in. Choose your pitch, then hit your markers, and if you line everything up, you'll throw a perfect pitch toward the position you were pointing at when you pulled the right trigger. You can pull as many times as you need to fake out your friend. Just remember that you'll be aiming for the last position you were at when you pulled the fake target trigger. A pitcher can attempt to do a pitch out by pulling and holding in the right trigger and then pressing a corresponding pitch button. Pitching out is a good way to give your catcher some extra time to throw out an opponent attempting to steal a base. Pitchers oftentimes have to pitch themselves out of tight jams, making for some nervous situations. The pressure level will increase based on the game situation. You'll know if your pitcher is feeling nervous about a particular situation when you see the pitching cursor begin to pulse and feel the pitcher's heartbeat vibrating your Xbox controller. ESPN Major League Baseball 2K5 takes baseball video games to a new level by giving you more control than ever with your base running. Good base running will bring in more runs than home runs will, so be sure you know the controls before you step up to the plate. Once the ball is put in play, you'll notice that every runner has a button associated with him. To take control of a specific runner, press the button corresponding to the runner you want to control. The first press of the button will give you control over a runner. Mashing that same button after you selected the runner will provide the runner with a small speed boost. The runner you are currently in control of will be indicated to you by having a pulsing border around the base runner's window. Pull the left trigger to have him advance to the next base. Pull the right trigger to have him retreat. You can also press the white button to hold the runner. If you have many players on base and want them all to advance or retreat, click the right thumbstick, then pull the triggers. Left trigger to advance, right trigger to retreat. Or you can just use the directional pad by pressing left to advance all or right to retreat all. Finally, the black button will have all your runners hold. If you have a runner coming into base and it's going to be a tight play, use the right thumbstick to slide. First, press the button for the runner you need to control. Then, move the right thumbstick toward the base for a head-first slide. Move the right thumbstick away from the base for a feet-first slide. Or move the right thumbstick off the baseline to slide away from the bag. Once you've got runners on base, you can have them try for a steal. While batting, pull the left trigger to make all of your base runners lead off an extra step, and pull the right trigger to have them all shorten their leads a step. Lead off as far as you dare, but be careful. Lead off too far and the pitcher will try and pick you off. When your opponent tries to pick you off, you need to quickly react by diving back to the base using the right trigger. There are two ways you can issue a steal command to your runner. The first way is to make your runner break for the next base once the pitcher goes into his motion. You can issue this type of steal command by pushing the directional pad just once in the direction of the base you want to steal. With a quick steal, you don't have to wait for the pitcher to start his pitching motion for your runner to take off. Instead, he'll start to run for the next base immediately. Quickly double tap the directional pad in the direction of the base you want to steal. Don't get greedy using this ability. If you try to steal too early, the pitcher will have plenty of time to react and throw you out. These controls will get you through the game, but if you're playing against the CPU, you can take direct control of your runners using our new base burner mode. When you have a runner on base, push the right thumbstick in the direction of the manned base before the pitch. At this point, you're in control of the base runner. Move the left thumbstick back and forth to change how much you lead off. Don't lead off too much, though, or the pitcher will be tempted to pick you off. If he tries to, pull the left trigger to jump back toward the base. Wait until the right moment, then pull the right trigger to steal a bag. If you get a good lead off and pull the trigger early enough, you should make the steal. Be sure to pay attention to the bar under your runner showing his speed rating. You should only attempt steals with fast runners who are most likely to make it safely to the base. Just like in the normal game, you'll be able to give your runner a small speed boost when in base burner mode. Once the ball is put into play, the speed rating bar will be replaced with the base runner turbo bar. Tap the A button rapidly to give your base runner a small speed boost. If you manage to steal a bag, but find you could steal another one, pull the right trigger again to advance. If you change your mind, pull the left trigger to retreat. Just be careful not to get tagged out. Don't forget to use your right thumbstick in a tight situation to initiate a slide. If you have multiple men on base or want to switch back to playing as the batter, you can do so by moving the right thumbstick in the direction of the person you want to play as. By default, the CPU handles batting, but you can tell the batter what to do by using the directional pad. Push right on the directional pad to have the batter swing. This won't guarantee a hit, but the batter will do his best to get on base. Push left to keep the batter from swinging. He won't swing no matter what the pitch is, possibly even taking a strike. Push up to have your batter bunt the ball. Finally, push down to return to the default controls where the CPU decides the best action. It can be very exciting when the ball is hit out into the field, but it can be very scary too if you're the one fielding. Good fielding is vital to keeping the base runners in check and preventing a run. Bad fielding will almost certainly let the other team bring in more runs, so make sure you take the time to get good at handling the field. Use the left thumbstick to move your fielder. In the case of a fly ball, you'll have control of the closest outfielder, and you'll need to head toward the ball indicator to make the out. If the ball gets away from you, or if it's a roller and you need to control someone else, pull the left trigger to take control of the player closest to the ball. When running up to the ball, pull the right trigger to use your turbo. You'll run faster, but you'll throw slower if you use it up by the time you pick up the ball. Try to balance your turbo to get up to the ball quickly, but save some for a quick zip back to the infield. When you're ready to throw the ball, use the 4 face buttons on your Xbox controller to throw back into the infield. If you want the CPU to choose the best space for you to throw to, try a smart throw by pulling the left trigger. Otherwise, you can choose your own base manually. If the 4 buttons made up a baseball diamond, you would press the button for the corresponding base to which you want to throw. That's B for first, Y for second, X for third, A for home. So if you caught an infield ground ball on a play with a runner at first, you'd pick up the ball, press Y for the force out at second, then B for the out at first, completing the double play. To put some extra zip in the ball, you can pull and hold the right trigger while your fielder has the ball to activate turbo. While turbo is activated, throw the ball to a base. Turbo throws will allow the ball to go farther and faster on that throw. But turbo throws will also increase the likelihood that your throw will be offline. You should only use turbo throws when you really need to put some extra zing on the ball. Everyone who's watched baseball knows fielders can make some of the most thrilling plays in the sport. If you want a fielder to slide or dive toward a ball, push the right thumbstick in the direction of the ball. The player will make an acrobatic move toward the ball, and he just may make the catch before the ball hits the grass. You can also use the right thumbstick to climb the wall and attempt to rob a home run, but this requires very careful timing and plenty of momentum. If you don't feel comfortable using the right thumbstick to attempt spectacular catches, you also have the option of pressing the A button instead. Finally, it isn't very professional, but sometimes you'll see this icon when a pop fly is hit and the fielder has some time to show off. If you see it, you can push the right thumbstick in any direction to activate a showboat catch. Your fielder will attempt some slick catch of the ball that will make it more likely he'll miss it, but also more likely he'll make the highlight reels. There are benefits to a successful showboat move, but they should only be used when you're ahead on the scoreboard by several runs. So that brings us to the ninth inning in these tips videos, and it's time to bring on the closer. Now that you know in your head how to play the game, it's time to teach your hands, and the only way to do this is with practice. Start up a couple of quick games against the CPU and try out all the controls we've discussed. To start off, you might want to go into Options and choose Difficulty and make sure it's set to Rookie. Once you've gotten comfortable with the controls, you can move up to higher difficulty levels or customize how hard the game will play. Finally, when you're ready, start up a franchise and attempt to take your team all the way to the World Series here in ESPN Major League Baseball 2K5.